Okay, a quick question. What if I told you that your microwave isn't just your reheating yesterday's soggy samosa, but could actually cook better and healthier than your stovetop? And what if the secret to the perfect biryani lies in science, not grandma's top secret recipe? And here's the big one. What if I said recipes are kind of overrated and there's actually a way to cook confidently without ever needing to open a cookbook again? Sounds wild, right? But that's exactly what we are diving into today. This is the final part of our series on Masala Lab, the science of Indian cooking by Krish Ashok. And trust me, it's going to completely change the way you see your kitchen. In this video, we are busting some big food myths, talk about futuristic cooking techniques like Sous Vide. Don't worry, I'll explain. Learn how to hack Indian cooking with algorithms, and finally, unlocking the science behind making good biryani. So hang around because this one's going to be full of amazing insights. Alright, real talk. Have you ever looked at your microwave and thought, why do I even have this thing apart from reheating my chai for the third time today? Or maybe you've heard someone say microwaves are dangerous, they zap your food and kill nutrients. Yes, we've all heard that. But here's the deal, that's just a myth, and we are about to bust it wide open. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2 of the series, I'd recommend checking them out. We've already talked about the juicy stuff like the Maillard reaction, flavor balancing, acids, umami, all the geeky good stuff. But today, we are going full on kitchen science mode. Let's start with the most misunderstood hero in the Indian kitchen, the microwave. Most of us just use it for leftovers or the occasional Maggie, right? But this gadget is actually kind of a marvel. First of all, it's not dangerous. It doesn't zap nutrients or leak evil rays like a villain from sci-fi movie. Microwave radiation is way gentler than UV or X-rays. It's even less energetic than the light bulbs in your ceiling. What it does do is make the water molecule inside the food vibrate like crazy, which generates heat. That's why food heats from the inside out, unlike your gas stove, which works from the outside in. And here's the fun part, because it heats water directly, the microwave is brilliant for cooking veggies fast. Think steamed broccoli. It comes out bright green, perfectly tender, and it takes less than 2 minutes. And because you don't need much oil or a long cook time, it's actually healthier and way more efficient. Especially if you're like me who don't always have the time or patience to hover over a stove. Now let's talk about sous vide, a French term. Sounds fancy, right? Like something only chefs in 5-star kitchens use. But it's actually super simple and genius. Sous vide just means cooking food in a water bath at a very specific temperature. That's it. You take something like a chicken breast, seal it in a Ziploc bag, and drop it into a water that's held at say exactly 65 degrees Celsius. Let it sit there for 90 minutes because the temperature stays constant. Your chicken never overcooks. It turns out perfectly juicy and tender every single time. And no, you don't need a fancy machine. Ashok actually gives a great jugaad method using just a pot, a thermometer, and some patience. It's such a clever mix of modern science with traditional Indian cooking. Now, if pressure cookers gives you anxiety because they hiss and puff like they are about to blow up, meet their cooler, calmer cousin, the Instant Pot or any electric pressure cooker. These gadgets use sensors to measure temperature and pressure, and once they reach the right level, they adjust automatically. No more waiting for whistles or stressing over too much or too little water. You just set it, walk away, and let it do the job. The book also introduces us to modernist ingredients like sodium citrate and xanthan gum. Sounds like chemistry class, I know, but they're surprisingly helpful. Sodium citrate, for example, is what helps melt cheese into that perfect gooey sauce, which are great for nachos or creamy gravies. And xanthan gum, just a tiny bit, helps bind flours that don't have gluten. Now here comes one of my favorite parts, chapter 7. This is where Ashok says, burn the recipe. Not literally, of course, but the idea is once you understand how cooking works, you don't need a recipe. You can create your own dishes confidently. He even gives you this amazing gravy algorithm. You start with your main ingredient, pick your regional style like Punjabi or South Indian, then choose your base, spices, fat, acid, and garnish. And just like that, you're creating instead of just copying. It's like a choose your own adventure for cooking. He also talks about tempering tricks, infused oils, chutney signs like why mustard oil and punch puran scream Bengali flavor, or how you can make a garam masala infused ghee that instantly levels up a basic dal. And then we reach the holy grail, biryani. Ah, yes, biryani, the crowd's favorite. The 43 orders per minute on Swiggy type of dish. But here, it's not just about layering rice and meat. It's a full-on science lesson. So you cook the rice to about 75%, so it's just tender enough. The meat is marinated with yogurt and spices, which helps break down the proteins and make it super soft. Then everything gets slow cooked together using dum, a technique where you seal the pot and let the steam do the work. The result? Flavors that are beautifully blended, rice that's fluffy yet flavorful, and meat that practically melts in your mouth. From marination chemistry to the science of steam, biryani brings together everything we've talked about in this book. It's like the grand finale of Indian cooking. And with that, we've come full circle. What a journey, right? From understanding how heat works, to flavor hacks, to smart kitchen tools, and now scientific biryani. We've seen how Masala Lab makes everyday cooking feel like magic backed by logic. It honestly made me appreciate even the small techniques in my kitchen so much more. So, here's what I've learned. Cooking isn't about following steps like a robot. It's about playing, experimenting, being curious. It's asking, hey, what happens if I try this? And being okay if it doesn't work. Because now you know what not to do. Science doesn't take away the soul of cooking, it actually deepens it. And this book, it nails that balance so beautifully. Thanks a ton for joining me on this 3-part ride through Masala Lab. And thanks to the author. If you liked it, hit that like button, share it with your food loving friends, and let me know your favorite cooking hack in the comments. Until next time, stay curious, keep experimenting, and as always, happy cooking.